Musk bought Twitter for $44 billion in a dazzling sequence of moves.
A short video about Shanghai lockdown went super viral, and a possible Beijing lockdown sparked panic.
Former Trump HHS official revealed the dire side of a future COVID variant. Welcome to Wei and Kathy Show. I'm your host, Wei Fang.
I'm Kathy Zhang.
Okay, needless to say, today the most attention-catching news would be the purchase of Twitter by Elon Musk.
Yeah, so the other shoe just fell, right?
Right. Just only 10 days ago, the task was viewed as just simply impossible, okay? Because, Elon Musk want to buy it, they don't want to sell it, okay? And the board is very united. The board adopted a poison pill, which would almost like arbitrarily and hike the price to make the purchase impossible. And even Elon Musk, is the wealthiest person. Where does he come up with this 400 at that time $43 billion cash? Nobody see that. So that's the situation about 10 days ago. Today, the news is the purchase is done. Okay, Twitter sold itself to Elon Musk, which will take it to private. This would be the largest deal to take a company private in the history of the U.S. stock market, I guess. So let's just back up a little bit to find out what happened since yesterday. Okay, so under a lot of pressure, Twitter board actually they asked for a meeting with Elon Musk, and then they sat down yesterday and have a meeting of we don't know how many hours. So this morning, Twitter board, 11 director of them, and got together for another 3 hours meeting. After that, they resumed their meeting with Elon Musk and, basically his team. And then, so they try to negotiate a go shop provision, which means I can accept a deal, but I have to have a time window which I just go around to find out whether there's another suitor. Okay, and that did not go through. So what do we know? That is the deal is sealed. And the board agreed that the purchase will happen, and is subject to the subsequent vote by the shareholder, which people won't see any problem, and then also subject to the approval of the regulators, and which nobody expect will have any issue, because this is not a competitor of Twitter buying Twitter. This is a car manufacturer company and buying Twitter. So the regulator most likely will not see any problem unless something really came up. So just imagine, right? Just imagine, only 10 days ago, the Twitter board was expected to really reject this purchase, because this would completely undo what Twitter board has put in place, including this Jack Dorsey and this current CEO put in place. Okay, their culture, their principle, their way of behavior will be all undone by this, basically this maverick, right? This maverick Elon Musk. So the natural reaction is no, we don't want you. And so how did Elon Musk do it? Okay, how did he make it happen? Which seems to be impossible only 10 days ago. Let's just talk about this a little bit. Well, the first reason is very, very straight. Twitter does not make money. Okay, it has been there for 16 years, has gone public for 80 years. It has a really outsized influence, okay, and in shaping public opinions. All right, if you remember, the Arab Spring uprising grew out of the Twitter communication, and the political leaders has used it as a megaphone, while companies, celebrities, and others, including police department and the mayors and school district, use it for image building and brand building. All right, so it's something very, very influential, but it doesn't earn much money. All right, so it has been losing money since it went public, and last year in 2021, Twitter lost $220 million. All right, so in terms of serving the fiduciary duty to its shareholder, the Twitter board has very few cards in their hand when facing a very powerful acquisition party. So that's the first reason. The second actually has to do with the general stock market of this past week. As you know, the general stock market almost meltdown, and especially the Netflix collapse, and losing 70% of its value. That probably scared the heck out of a lot of Twitter shareholders. They would ask themselves, if we miss this thing, what would happen? Would the Twitter stock price drop to 20s? And then now they're facing a $54 purchase. It's a very sweet deal. Okay, that's the second reason. The third reason is Elon Musk not only lined up the biggest Wall Street firms behind him, he also made a big, high publicity of that. So that built up a tremendous amount of pressure. All right. So Elon Musk actually secured $25.5 billion in loans. Okay, and another $21 billion out of his own money. And where does that come from? There's no news explaining that, but people would expect he would sell some of his Tesla stock so that he can get that $21 billion. One way or the other. Okay, yesterday Elon Musk presented them with the financial package, a full $44 billion. All right, and then which is $45.5 billion, which is about almost 11% above the previous asking price. That becomes very, very difficult to say no.
Yeah, who would say no?
Right, because you are losing money, stock market is melting down, and Trump's Truth Social also made progress, and the Twitter is under siege. And then if they turn down this guy, and then the stock price went down to 20s, what do they say? They say, how about we just take this big premium and just sold this thing? All right. The fourth reason is very important. Why there was no white tonight.
Why?
Remember, right? So it's information. It's the freedom of information battlefield. And the people know the importance of Twitter and why there was not a white night on the Twitter side in the last 10 days. What did they do? Did they do anything? When they try to defend Twitter, they probably will go to Soros or Zuckerberg or Bill Gates or whoever and get enough money as the defense.
Yeah,
it didn't happen at all.
Well, there's one or two capital investment company were reportedly trying to, do something.
Yeah,
but looks like they didn't really succeed.
In my opinion, they are too small, and they are much less influential. But let me just share with you of my opinion, okay, why there's no night. Very simple. The reason you probably don't believe it, okay, because they don't understand Twitter enough. Elon Musk tweeted 18,000 times in the last, 11 years. This guy lives on Twitter. He understands Twitter. He knows the value of it. How often do you see George Soros tweet every day? And you don't see much of that. A lot of those wealthy people who stand on the other side of the, on the liberal side, and they don't understand this platform well enough. They don't understand how important it is. So it's very hard for them to put on, almost like a $45 billion, right, for a no money making company. It's very difficult for them, and especially when they don't understand the value of Twitter as a outsized communication platform or public discourse platform. They won't reach to the wallet and pull a lot of cash out of it. But Elon Musk is determined, right? He said money doesn't matter. Okay, the economics doesn't matter here. He just wants this to build. He wants this, and he wants this for a freedom of speech, public square. So his motivation is different.
So he's really trying to make this point to build a free speech platform.
Yeah, and he loves it too much. He loves it too much. So his determination way surpass any possible other suitors. So because of that reason, they don't come. And Elon Musk keep pushing, and he's very talented again in just building high profile over when he tried to convince the Wall Street, right, give him the money, and that all built up as the extra layer of pressures upon the board of the Twitter, who has a fiduciary duty to deliver the most interest to their shareholder, the people they represent. So one way or the other, in 10 short days, Elon Musk got Twitter into his hand. Believe it or not, right? Well, whether he's going to reactivate the account by President Trump, what would you say? Maybe I just pause here for 5 seconds, and you can type it there. You say yes, you say no. Let's do a quick online survey. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What's your answer? My answer would be yes. He's going to turn it on, and then whether President Trump will be coming back, that depends on him. I think he will come back, and for sure he got 88 million, Twitter followers. And as of now, as we do this news, loads of people are signing up on Twitter.
And some people probably returning to Twitter, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah, they left, now they're coming back. And so this is what's amazing about Elon Musk, right? People sell things and make money. This guy buy things and make money. Twitter's value increased instantly after he spent, $44 billion. So this guy's indeed, he's really one of the kind. Okay, the richest man in the world and the most tech talent in the world. Oh, that's the saga of the Twitter purchase. Mind you, okay, I started following the story on the Thursday morning. At the moment that Elon, actually no, before he even announced the purchase, I started following the story. I made a six video program, 6 reports on that. Every time I'm one step ahead of Elon Musk. And the only part I'm delayed is as I produced the program and before I uploaded it on the web, he came out and beat my speed.
Okay.
So it's like a lockstep. Anyway.
Yeah, you were talking about your Chinese.
Right, Chinese channel. I'm sorry, it's not this channel. It's Chinese channel. I wish I could have done this on the English channel. But as you guys may feel that, yes, we reported enough about this, right?
Right.
And forecast Elon Musk's move, and now it's over. I think, in my opinion, in my honest opinion, Twitter will be free, will not censor casually, and most of us will live and breathe there well. So let's see whether that would happen.
Yeah. So I just want to insert one short piece of news, just
Yes.
in light of what's happening with Twitter. Google actually making a move that it announced that they will launch an inclusive language function to help users eliminate politically incorrect words and expressions. And once people, heard that, I think some people were saying, Elon Musk, how about Google? Right? So what is this feature? The feature is being introduced initially to Google's enterprise level users and will include both warnings and suggestions as part of Google's new assisted writing features in Google Docs. So what does that mean? What does this feature do? For example, you type in the word landlord. It will generate a warning. The term may not be inclusive to all readers, as well as the suggestion to replace this offensive expression with the words like a property owner or proprietor.
No kidding.
And similarly, Google takes issue with the word mankind, and proposes to substitute it with the more appropriate word humankind.
You gotta be kidding.
For example, policeman and housewife, all in this category.
Police person,
police officers, and housewife as a stay-at-home spouse.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Oh my God.
So why do that? A Google spokesperson said, our technology is always improving, and we don't yet have a solution to identifying and mitigating all unwanted word associates and biases. But on the other hand, a campaign group called the Big Brother Watch insisted that Google's new word warning aren't assistive, they are deeply intrusive. They said this speech policing is profoundly clumsy, creepy, and wrong, often reinforcing bias.
Okay, so guys, do you remember what is called cultural revolution? Revolution of culture. Okay, this is the American version of a cultural revolution. This Google's move, and we are way too familiar with those. And they just turn culture into a weapon, and hit on people that don't agree with them.
Yeah. So, would Elon Musk's next target is Google? What do you think?
A little more pricey. Okay, it's like if I remember right, $250 billion. That's the worth of the Google. But Elon Musk, he only have like $270 billion. But for those of you who bought Tesla, you're making him to make this happen. So keep buying that electric car, and possibly someday Elon Musk can buy Google. Anyway, all right, let's move on to what happened in China. Okay.
Yes.
So as Shanghai's 25 million people has been sealed in their home for nearly a month, the government in Beijing launched a series of mass coronavirus tests on Monday. It has sparked actually public panic among residents who fear a brutal Shanghai-style lockdown could be next for the capital city.
Chaoyang district in Beijing, which is the core district with the largest land and 3.5 million residents, are required to do a nucleic acid testing on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 3 days a week, after supposedly detecting 26 infections over the weekend. The eastern district of Chaoyang is home to the city's wealthiest residents, most foreign embassies, as well as corporate headquarters.
And Beijing has warned of increasing cases in the coming days, with the municipality officials saying that at the April 25th briefing that the virus has spread for a week before being detected.
Then this announcement sparked a panic buying since the afternoon of April 24th, despite officials' assurance that supplies will be plentiful. So lines formed outside of the supermarkets and grocery stores in the early afternoon, while vegetables and fruits were sold out on the online platforms by the evening. The uncertainty was felt by residents in other districts, including nearby Haidian district, where no infections have been recorded, prompting citizens there to stockpile food as well.
Well, officials told reporters on April 25th that they would decide the next move based upon the result of the mass testing and the tracing. At a separate briefing held later that night, the spokesperson of Beijing municipal government announced that they would launch the 3 rounds of mass testing in another 10 of the city's 16 districts, as well as the city's tech hub, the so-called economic technological development area.
In China, the lockdowns are usually imposed with very little advance warning, just like in Shanghai, because the authorities fear terrified citizens will attempt to flee the targeted cities. Worries about a potential lockdown under the regime's heavy-handed zero-COVID policy sent China's stock market slumped to 2-year low on April 25th.
Yeah, both Shanghai Stock Exchange and Hong Kong both dropped to just unprecedented low in the recent years. In the financial hub of Shanghai, there was no immediate sign that strict curbs would be eased. Instead, authorities on April 24 started erecting metal barriers. Metal barriers around compounds to restrict people's movement. Many 2-meter-high fences have been installed around residential compounds, where at least one person tested positive for COVID-19. If you see the scene, it's just concentration camp. Okay, jail just looked like that.
Yeah, when we saw the Capitol, in Washington D.C. was fenced, people just outraged. But if you see what's happening in Shanghai,
it's nothing compared to Shanghai, but in the nature are the same.
All right, so in light of what's happening in Shanghai, a resident actually put together a short film with less than 6 minutes. And this film called Sound of April, that's the title. On Friday, April 22nd, China time, this short video documenting the outbreak in Shanghai went viral on the Chinese social media. It was reposted by a large number of netizens, but the censors followed suit. The authorities had since restricted and removed the video and the related discussions. This ignited anger across the internet, and the Chinese netizens strongly criticized the official suppression of the freedom of speech in various ways.
Yeah, the video is only like less than 60 minutes. It's very mild. Okay. It's not criticizing, is does not complain. Just compile, several voice clips of the Shanghai resident who lived through basically the hell in the last 1 month. And then, which specifically reflects the various life difficulties and injustices encountered by ordinary resident. And it recorded like donated food being sold, children and parents being detained and forcefully separated and isolated. Pets were killed. Patients could not get timely medical assistance, and the environment of the and the Fangchang hospital basically is just certain kind of quarantine camp were harsh.
Yeah, so let's just take a look of some clips of this short video.
目前我们上海没有封城，现在也不必封城。基于当前上海的疫情形势，我们将根据
咱们也就下定决心封上3、5天啊，封上1周不行吗？不行，为什么不行？因为上海，我们这个城市承载了不仅仅是上海人民自己的上海。我们这个城市还承载了在全国社会经济当中发挥了重要的功能。我想我们全部的上海市民应该有这样的大局观。
现在告诉你一个事实，就是病房很紧张，隔离点没有房间，120没有车，这个是事实。现在嘛，让我通知人家阳性，健康云上嘛是个阴性，我们都让人家打12345投诉健康云，搞什么搞嘛？
现在连上海发布微博上面都关闭评论了。
今天早晨4点多钟就来了，到现在都几点了？这个菜是不是要全部烂掉？水也没得喝。上海有小卖铺有没有？吃没得吃。我是来支援的，无偿的。我现在连温饱都解决。
我也需要上面有好的政策来给我，我可以对居民有交代。现实是没有，知道吗？没有，这个工作让我身心疲累。
为了谁呀？我自己也有家呀，你们有家在不？我是有家不能回呀。
要把他打死！哎呦天哪！
So in this video, it begins with Shanghai's epidemic briefing on March 15th and the 26th. In the recording, an official said that Shanghai, as an important part of the entire Chinese economy, will not be locked down. The recording contrasts with the lockdown issues later reflected in the video. And the video's author, Kerry, did not add any of his own opinions to this work. The sound clips he used were all from the videos and the telephone recording circulating on the Chinese internet, which we actually shared with some of it with you in the past shows. And visually, the short film is mainly based on the black and white image of the city of Shanghai with white text to introduce the background of each recording. And the video ended with a very optimistic note, citing that Shanghai government as saying the epidemic is easing and wishing Shanghai a speedy recovery. But it got censored anyway.
Yeah, so that's what happened. It's something very, very mild. But now we heard that the creator, the producer of the video, has been, arrested.
Yeah, and the keywords "sound of April" and even "April" were quickly banned. So, and then the netizens on the Chinese social media Weibo just created their own hot topic, like Shanghai silence, to express their anger. However, this hot search topic was soon officially banned again, and the search results for this keyword were also limited.
Yeah. But just because of that, because of the censoring, because of the ban, that so many netizens start to spreading and copy, download, and re-upload and spreading the video. So the video become viral, just not by the system of those high-tech platforms, but through the hands of people. Mm-hmm. And it's become a phenomenon that was never seen before. This banned video simply could not be banned because so many people are just re-uploading them. Uploading it. So that's what happened, yeah.
And also the song, do you hear the people singing from the movie Les Miserables? A lot of our audience probably, are familiar with, was also heavily retweeted in China. This song calls on people to stand up against tyranny. So one of China's largest music platform, has removed this song since 2020.
Well, that's the story of Shanghai, and as we just remind you what is happening in Shanghai, what is happening in Beijing, and what we really want you to pay attention to is some potential big change in China that is upcoming, which for sure will impact the life here, and hopefully in a positive way. But people in China, they will need our attention. They will need our support, and at least mental support, moral support, and yeah.
Yeah, I think this is really waking people up in China. One netizen wrote, wanted to talk about freedom, rights, and sing about what's really good, not what other people tell us to sing about. And he wrote, and also don't want to thank who's fed us, because it's us who fed us day after day after day.
Yeah. So the CCP always say we feed $1.4 billion thanks to Communist Party.
1.4 billion.
1.4 billion people can survive because of us, because of the party. Okay, that's the propaganda line they always use. The party never produced anything.
And that they make people sing these lines.
Right.
That's what this netizen was referring to.
Yeah, you see the revolt that is happening there, and it would very likely snowball to be much bigger and bigger, and we shall keep a close eye on that. So next, so that'll be all for tonight, and I'm your host Wei Fang.
I'm Kathy Zhang.
Yeah, due to time limitation, we could not go through your comments and tonight, but we'll catch up with the next time. Likewise, we don't have any joke for you, but just be patient.
Yeah, still please leave your comments.
Subscribe if you have not, and little bell, press on that, and press the like, which help propel this, deliver this channel to more people. All right. Have a good night, and
take care.
Take care.
Be safe.
And see you on Wednesday.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.